Hello, this is Retreat Briefing in Wednesday, March 13th, and today's topic is: will Ethereum Dencun upgrade affect the price? So, in yesterday, about 9:30 p.m. in South Korea, there was a CPI release and was quite high, and crypto market declined for about starting from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. today, and now it is rebounding and recovering its price. And there are no special economic issue today, and we are waiting for the Ethereum's Dencun upgrade will successfully applied or not. So if upgrade is well applied to it, Ethereum will definitely increase more from now. So this is a dominance for morning, and you can see that the Bitcoin's dominance is very similar to yesterday, and Ethereum fell slightly comparing to yesterday, and altcoins increased little and Tether dominance increased little. So when Bitcoin and Ethereum fell last night, many people closed their positions and took profit from it. So we could notice that the reason why Tether dominance increased is because of that. But after fall, now it is rebounding, so I think the assets will return to cryptos. And this is a Goya Dominance 1 chart, and it seems like it is trying to inform us that the market is moving in sideways right now. So most cryptos will move between certain area up and down, and there are cryptos that surged, and surged cryptos started to fall. So Goya Score's average is going to zero, I think. And we're gonna have a look at our Goya Dominance 1 chart later to check right now how much is it. So this is a liquidation heat map for last 24 hours. As you can see, starting from late night in yesterday, cryptos fell a lot, so they liquidated a lot of long positions. It's covered with green, and the total amount is $363 million, and it is quite a lot. So I think when there is a release of some important economic indicators such as CPI in yesterday, I think paying attention and watch out for the volatility in the market is very important, just like the stock market. And this is last 4 hours liquidation heat map in 12 p.m. in South Korea. And as I told you, crypto started to rebound, so they liquidated a lot of short positions. So the market seems still bullish, and this bullish trend is continuing for about 1.5 months. So people are expecting a correction right now, but they are kept liquidated recently. So it's quite powerful bull market, isn't it? And this was a main event for this week, and I said in the beginning, there will be a Dencun update for Ethereum, and we will have retail sales, continuing jobless claims, and PPI released tomorrow. So there would be volatility in market like yesterday's CPI announcements. So please remember the time and watch out trading at that time. And I found an article about Ethereum ETFs. So I said that this year would be Ethereum's year. So now many asset managements are trying to launch Ethereum's ETF, just like Bitcoin. But there was an article that the SEC suggested 3 reasons why they will not approve Ethereum's ETF. So the first one was the Ethereum's regulatory status isn't clearly defined. But last October, they approved Ethereum's futures ETF, so it's quite nonsense, impersonal. And second, the politicians that are anti-cryptocurrency will probably disagree with political issues. And last reason is it is less exposed to the threat of lawsuits than Bitcoin. So I think these reasons are not that reasonable. So since Bitcoin got approved, so I think it's a matter of time for Ethereum to get approved. So if it gets approved, I think it might break through even 10K or whatever. And Bitcoin is doing great recently, and the spot ETFs for Bitcoin is very productive. So the Bitcoin Leverage ETF, also known as Bitcoin Futures ETF, is also trending, and this was an article about that. So probably people with Futures ETF is getting much more profit right now. And I think many assets will be poured not only to Bitcoin related products, but also to many other cryptos. So crypto trading market will possibly get many times, much bigger than now. And this is a liquidation heat map for Bitcoin. And as you can see, it made an up and down movement, but quite a big down movement, isn't it? So by only looking at this heat map right now, we can know that the assets are gathering up here. So those are the short positions that are expecting Bitcoin to fall. So it might make a further increase near 72.5K or even 73K, I think, in order to liquidate them. And this is a liquidation heat map for Ethereum. And Ethereum also moved up and down, and big down movement in early morning today, about midnight. So now it recovered back and keep increasing. So Ethereum is showing a nice move, and by looking at this heat map, I think it would be not surprising for Ethereum to increase all the way up to 4.1K, since there are so much money gathering up here. So let's see when will Ethereum reach up there. And this is a RSI heat map in 4 hours candlestick standard. So comparing to yesterday, you can notice that the overall cryptos went down. So there are cryptos that are rebounding after fall, but there are cryptos that are having an extra falling. So focusing on some cryptos that fell a lot, and if the L related signals, which means that the signals expecting an increase, if those signals appear in Goya Premium chart, I think focusing on them might be a good trading tactic. So now let's move on to the Goya Premium chart from now. Starting from Bitcoin, and before that, let's have a dominance chart. So that dominance chart from the presentation was about 12 p.m. and it fell a little bit, so it is keep moving between 0 points. So the score chart is implying a little bit of decline, but quite moving similar, so I think that's not a big deal. I think it is mentioning about this point. This point. So within surge in Monday, it kept moving sideways. So this S and SB signals were made over the Goya line, so it didn't impact the chart that much, and this L signal also. With this L and LB, we had a sudden increase all the way up to here. It's almost, where is it? 7330, but it eventually fell down severely. So with an S signal, And we got an S2 signal just popping up here, but I think because of the bullish trend of the market, I think it failed to make Bitcoin down. So with an L signal appearing again, we have an LB and L2 signal. Now it's moving over the Goya line. So the slope of the Goya line is pointing upwards, and all L signals were made over the Goya line. So I think it would probably make a sideways movement with slight upward direction. Yeah, it's moving in 272,314 right now. So I think it will recover all the way back to near, where is it? Oh, this line. These lines. So if it breaks through here, I think it might try again this part. And then if it breaks through and reach all the way up to 73K, I don't expect further increase because it already liquidated those short positions. So I think it will make a correction down again. So I think focusing on the sideways movement between these lines. I think this line is too much, so think of this line as an first support line, and I think it will probably move between these lines for a while. And let's have a look at Ethereum, which is having a positive issue right now. So you can notice that the price is moving quite upwards, isn't it? So just like Bitcoin, starting to move in sideways, and then had a sudden drop all the way down to 3.8K. And now with an L signal and LBL2 and similar place with Bitcoin, it changed into upward trend. So the moving average is this white line with 7 days moving average, went all the way back up. And I think if the Dencun update applied well, it will probably break through the sell 1 in personally, I think. But I think it will be quite difficult to reach all the way up here. But think of a possibility to move near these lines, I think. So if the Goya line succeeds to support the candles from further decrease, I think Ethereum will try to reach 4.1K. But if cannot, then you can think of this line as another support line. But if this support line also breaks, then I think this long candle start point about here. So I think it might fall all the way down to here. So keep an eye on it, if it meets the Goya line or not, and if it's supported or not. That is the important one to think. And let's have a look at Ripple. Ripple had a big increase right here. And you can see that this point, it fell all the way through half of this long positive candlestick. So if you look at those big increased cryptos, you can see as a possibility to fall almost to the middle of this long candlestick in our base. So it did actually touch this line and went back up. And now we have an L and LB signal and moved slightly over the Goya line. So if it is kept supported by the Goya line, then it will probably gain some power to reach back all the way up to around 72 or near 72K. But if it if the Goya line fails to support it and if it breaks down, then this line, the long candles half line, and today's the lowest point, think of 0.6565 as a first support. So if this line breaks, we cannot expect where to fall. So this area, the start of this long big jump, think of this line as another support line, and then. So now it got correction and moving in half of this big increase. So if this sideways movement continues for a while and if Ripple gains power, it probably could make another increase, but Ripple doesn't move a lot, so it's quite difficult to expect. Let's look at Doji. So starting from Monday, increased, and starting from yesterday, it kept decreased, and with an S and S2 signal and further SB signal here, it dropped all the way down to 0.15. So it made a huge decrease, and now it's starting to rebound, and with an L and LB signal went up to the Goya line. But just same again, if the Goya line succeeds to support the candlestick, then the Doji coin will probably have power to reach back up to these areas. So if you look at our support and resist line, so this line acts as a first resist line. So if it breaks through that with a support of Goya line, then it will try to reach back up. But think of these line as a second resist, and those third and four, 2 and 3 resist line is quite high. But the score chart is expecting a more jump all the way to 0.178. So I think it will probably rebound for a while. So yeah, I've mentioned about 4 cryptos right now. So I hope you guys to have a safe trading today as well. And thank you for watching. Bye.